Hi, welcome to the Market Alert for Wednesday, the 3rd of June 2020. So, dead cops, looted shops, cities burning, buy stocks. I mean, what else are you going to do? Just keep buying the stocks, keep the illusion alive that everything is fine, while Rome burns in the streets of New York, LA, and most of the states at the moment. So, with all of the civil unrest, the economy going to the dogs, it doesn't matter, just keep buying those stocks. And as we look at the Dow, we find the Dow, that's the DAX. Let's start off with the Dow. We can see that prices continue to move. They're remaining green at the moment, heading towards that 200 MA and the 89% retracement, which was drawn from this high to this low. So yeah, the insanity prevails, but then are we surprised? Not one bit. So if we go back to the pre-market for yesterday, you will see the market kick off in the morning, prices move higher, then pull back, and then off we go. And we see the Dow rise 100, 200, 250 points before it runs out of steam, and then we see a pullback of 100 points before the kickoff in the main market. So prices open, they move down sharply, and then you start to see green coming into the market there. Not only this, but if I just move this over for you, get the retracements from this low to where the high here, you'll see the market pull back, and that's purely and simply because prices moved up, pull back, and then again you've got the green in the buying there, and then eventually off we go to the upside. You'll see several green bars there as prices then drive higher. Prices then retrace, they turn to red, as we can see here, and make their way back. There's no real retracement through here to measure, which is a shame. It's just a straight profit taking move. But if we go from the low here to the high, you'll see the market stop at the 89% there. And once more, as prices start to move higher, you'll see them retrace once more. Again, so from the low to this high, you'll see prices just come back towards the 62% retracement there before they once again turn green and move to the upside there. But what's interesting is if the market goes from, if you mark up from this high to this low, you'll see prices then once again stop at the 78% level, and it's a very interesting level as well. I'm just going to remove this because you can see it became a bit of a sort of a resistance for the market at this level before prices then moved lower. But notice the subtleties in the fibs as well, because again, if you take this high to this low and then project back to here, you will see precisely the same thing. So from the high to the low, you'll see the market stopping at the fibs again, 62 this time. And then prices move lower and they bounce back. Where do they bounce back to? Well, from this high to this low, they bounce back 89. But if you go to the main high that you see here, you'll see them again stopping with a double there at 89% of the one and 78 of the other. Actually 62% and 78. And again, it gives you that confidence that the market is likely to continue to the short side there, where you get a convergence of the two fibs there. So the market then pulls back, and this is not unusual these days, to this high, and again you see you get your cluster of fibs, and then you get your green bar as inside of the red as prices then start to move to the upside. So very predictable pattern there, and the markets remain on the upside on the overnight as well, which you can see here. So the Dow moving to the upside. News today to keep this baby moving to the upside. Well, we've got final services PMI from the UK, G7 meeting at 11:15 a.m. So I'm assuming that's a virtual one. And we've got the ADP numbers. This is going to be interesting. 9 million jobs outside of the farming community is what they're saying, from 20 million before. The big numbers on Friday, of course. This is a precursor. And then ISM non-manufacturing PMI is also out. Let's have a look at the Dow implied. This is down at 25.05, so this is still moving to the downside. Both the implied volatility is below the 20 bar moving average, and prices remain above the 20 bar moving average at the moment as well. So that's all intact for the upside. It'll be interesting to see what happens next week when we get the GDP figures. That's going to be the key there. In the German DAX, again, we've got all of our fibs marked up here, and we've drawn from, just move this over as we've done with the Dow. We've got drawn from the all-time high to the all-time low, and then we've got a second set drawn from here to here as well. So we've got the sort of medium term and the long-term fibs, and you'll see how they've worked as resistance and also support as prices now trade to the 200 MA there. So yesterday in the DAX, the hours that I tend to look at this is between 8 AM and 10 AM, but like I say, I've noticed a pattern, and today, given that the G7 is at 11:15, I would expect the DAX to be pretty choppy at the beginning, unless it really wants to motor in anticipation of something, but it's likely to hang around and wait a bit and see what may be said at the G7. So if we go back to, let me just go back to the Dow and show you the relationship here between the two, which is why I always tend to have a look at both. I'm going to go back to the pre-market in the Dow, and you'll see the price action here yesterday for 10 AM. And then I'm going to go back to the DAX now, and you'll see how they follow one another. So you've got that same pattern in the German DAX there, and also you've got the green coming back into the market, and you've also got, if we go back to the fibs from this low, let me just take out extend right and redo that, otherwise it's going to disappear. So from there to there again, you see you've got all of the fibs there, and then prices green to the upside there for 100 points before the market resettles. And like I say, 10 o'clock seems to be a good point as well. You've got your green buying coming back into the market there at this BRN, and then prices moving to the upside. And also something else that's important as well is when the fibs fail, and you'll see here that prices eventually go through the 89 and continue higher as well. So we use them for retracement and also for testing the market's momentum and strength. So prices through the mid-morning trade, as well, I'm going to drag these across, you'll see prices trading back to again 78.89. Just going to delete this line, and at this point you see prices trading back through the 89, and then again you've got the buying coming into the market. You can see it here, and we see prices moving back up to the BRN there. But of course, from this high to this low, that takes you straight to 89% as well. And we also saw in the mid-afternoon in the Dow, prices then moving lower from this point as well. So there you go, you can see how this market reacted, and there's just one more to add into the chart here. From this low to this high, you will see prices dropping back to 62.76 there as well. So you can draw these all the time, you can draw them in real time as well, and I will record a few videos on how to do this in real time, and then you can see the market's reaction to it. And then in combination with the volume and what's called the MDI market direction indicator, this just shows you which direction the market's likely to go into, move into. So for example, if I draw from this low to this high, you'll see the market's at 62 and 78. So even though the MDI is showing red, the market isn't moving lower, it's finding support at the 62% retracement, and now you can see a spike in the volume as well at this BRN and also the R1, and then prices are free to move back to the upside, which they do. We're now outside of the normal hours, but again, just to show you that the patterns remain, and you'll see as we just move across there, the market trading up to 89% once more of the move from there down to there, and then projected back to the upside. So from measuring from there down to there, projected back, so there, and then projected back. Okay, that will do it for this one. I think I've gone on long enough, but I'm going to do more on the fib retracement so that you can see, and I think what I'll do is color code them so that they're easier to see instead of having them one color as well, and that way it will make life a bit easier. So I'll come up with some color codes, and also, as you've seen this morning, changing the color of the arrows to match those as well, and that way it'll become a lot easier when you watch it unfold and then become familiar with them as well, and know just visually where they're being drawn from, etc. Okay, that will do it for this one. As ever, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.